you know? Once how this shit drop. Yeah. Man, we've been doing this for quite some time, and we're gonna keep on keeping on, you know? Oh, get with it or stay away from it. But either way, we going to the top. Can't even afford coming over your petty crisis is unimportant. So unimportant. So I don't need you in my life. I feel like I'm crossing. I put that on God. Feeling like the top. Feeling like the king. Everything you keep, it ain't really what it seems. Traveling, seeing all the world's problems. Trying to tell you how we get it and how we can solve them. I'm on a top flight now. I came from the bottom. Ain't gotta check my credibility. They know I got them. Came in and over. I still getting better. You let it burn me in the falling. So pandemic, you can't even afford coming over. Your petty presence is unimportant. So unimportant. No, I don't want you. I don't need you in my life. Making heaven pay for the paper. Time is coming. Time is coming.
So high that certain people can't even be around you because your energy is so strong. Vibrate so high that anybody that's wishing to do evil upon you, it shall be revealed. Vibrate so high that any evil entity feels uncomfortable in your presence. Vibrate so high.
Yo, we back at it, man. It's your boy Cross, man. We here, the Plug Podcast. We got another episode. I appreciate everybody been supporting the channel. Appreciate everybody when I went to VA, the support that I got. And like I said, I'm glad everybody had a safe for some of the people that did. I want to get into right now and talk about my title. My title is A Mother's Love. Now, it's a woman named Jamiri that's out of Baltimore, right? This woman was a single mother. I'm saying allegedly. I know that, and we'll talk about with the father and things. But this woman that everybody talks about how good that they really was. What happened was she ended up doing the unthinkable. I couldn't imagine a mother doing that. And I always feel salute, sacrifice in the building. Hey man, another great show you had last night, man. Hey, y'all make sure y'all King of New Jersey. What's up with you, King? So I want to get into talking about this whole thing because it kind of blew my mind, right? It's out of Baltimore, King, and it's going to blow your mind. So what I want to do is I want to get into what they talk about or what happened with these two little kids, man. May they rest in peace. But again, this is called A Mother's Love. So check this out.
To Coventry Manor Apartments Tuesday afternoon because something smelled bad. Responding officers say they found 6-year-old Danira Thomas and her 8-year-old brother, Devin. Their bodies decomposing. The police commissioner says there are reports that the children were seen as recently as last week.
And I have 2 little mini-me's tonight. This evening I have
Danira Thomas Joy.
And I have
Devin Thomas.
1 year ago, Jamira recorded this podcast with her 2 children.
Y'all been driving me crazy. But I love y'all.
I too.
Okay.
Okay.
They were like a trio. If you saw her, you saw them.
Their neighbor, who did not want to be identified, says her own daughter and Danira were best friends.
Danira and my daughter would play in the hallway.
Calling Jamira an attentive mother. That neighbor says this spray paint on the grass is from where Jamira recently painted a table for her kids.
It was beautiful. It was like the blue sky, the beautiful blue sky with the white clouds.
Now the family's neighbor wonders how she'll tell her daughter that her best friend is gone.
I have no clue how I'm going to explain this to my baby. Because she played with them every day.
So I know everybody a little confused. What I wanted to do is play, first of all, play the fact that everybody talked about how great this mother was, right? But in this whole midst of all this, this is one of the videos where they talked about how great she was. The kids were always around, but you never really know how serious mental health is and what people go through inside their home. So another thing is she had another friend that I guess she worked with. So let's watch what she says about it, and then we'll start getting into the details.
She just always, her kids were her top priority. She always wanted to do better for them. She went to school for them,
Chantel Cochran caught up with her friend Jameer Hall last week over text. The two went to technical college together, studying medical assistance. As they texted back and forth, she says the 28-year-old seemed happy.
She sounded like she was getting herself together. So it made me happy to see that, things were finally starting to look up for her. She just basically said she was trying to get her life back in order and, slowly but surely. And I told her one day at a time.
Wednesday, police announced that Hall is in police custody after they say she confessed to killing her two children, 8-year-old Devin Thomas and 6-year-old Denier Thomas. Police found their bodies Tuesday in an apartment on Coventry Road in southwest Baltimore after someone called 911 reporting a foul odor. Police haven't given a possible motive. An autopsy will reveal how they died and how long they'd been in that apartment. Neighbors say they often saw both kids playing outside until last week.
She was always about her kids. She always, made comments to do better for them. So I can't even put.
So I'm going to stop right there about that. Now, like she said, that the woman said she worked, she had a good job. I'm assuming she might have worked into the medical field, or maybe have been a nurse or something of that nature, working in the hospital. Like I said, they work together. No one would ever think just like this woman. And then a lot of people even said that there is no way that this woman would do that, right, to her own kids. And like I said, the bodies they found out that it was a complaint from the janitor or whatever went to go check where the bodies were decomposed. Now, a lot of people don't understand the kids were out there with the mother. They were out there playing. And the last time a lot of people saw them was, I think it was a week ago. So let's get
Until I just make it make sense to me, because it's honestly just disheartening. It just, I have 4 kids of my own, and God forbid. I'm sorry. It's just not something that I would think that somebody would do to the child that they created.
There was a search for Hall and the children in October of 2018, when, according to charging documents, Hall pled guilty to arson after she set fire to a frying pan with family photos in it and disabled smoke detectors while staying at her mother's house. Hall and the children were eventually found.
So that's another problem. So, salute, I got my man Kerry in the building. Kerry's in the building. Yo. So, Kerry, what do you think about this so far? So what happened was she even before then, she set the house on fire with pictures of all the kids' pictures in there, put a frying pan on the stove, set the house on fire, removed all the smoke detectors, and then left and went to her mother's house with the kids unattended. Now, they're going to go into detail about it, but so far, she should have never had her kids this last week.
Right. Listen, a lot of times we overlook stuff. Right in front of our face. And the time that we're living in now, we can't just take things for granted.
Yeah.
What normal person picture in a skillet and light this, and light it, put it on fire, and then take the smoke detector out. So there's just smoking gun right there. I don't care what school she went to. We got to see, is this something that a normal person that's thinking, in their right mind, right at the time, would a normal person do that?
But think about it. Salute second. He said this is the case of sometimes it's better for the kids, and we're going to get into that because that's one of the questions I wanted to know. And me and my wife, we talk about it, like what happened to the dad, right? The thing about it is she's on a podcast with these kids and everybody saw it. And like we say, we don't really know what goes on in other people's homes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of people, especially single mothers, deal with a lot of stress. And then a lot of times it be the pride or the hurtful from the father that they try to keep the kid away thinking that they're hurting the kid. But in fact, they're creating a problem
a separation.
A separation gap where then it's too late on a lot of these kids right now where you see. So let's keep going.
Uninjured at a hospital.
I'm praying for those babies. You know, they didn't deserve it. Whatever was going on with her to herself, you know, I just wish she would have reached out for help. You know, it's a lot of people surrounding her, so I just wish she would have reached out to somebody.
So we know after that October 2018 incident, Hall was questioned by the Baltimore Police Child Abuse Unit. We also know that the children were taken to the Child Abuse Center here in Baltimore at that time, but we don't know what happened after that. Hall has not yet been formally charged. Reporting live downtown tonight, Kai Reed, WBAL TV 11 News.
So again, that talks about how twisted a person can be, Carrie. Like I said again, she went through that. She even admitted. See, this is the thing about it. She admitted setting the house on fire. She admitted, and she went to jail. And then later, after she was released, she was giving back the kids. Again, salute Jersey Rich in the building. So I'm tripping off how could this system fail. I mean, it's all parts that play the part, but I'm just like, and then we'll get into another video where they kind of break it down a little bit more, but just on the outer surface, like, why would you want your kids back if you try to set them on fire?
So, I think that's what you said a few minutes ago. Sometimes we do things out of spite.
Right.
And we know I'm not mentally capable.
Right.
Even with the, at the beginning of the video, even though they're having fun, she still said, I can't remember, she said, you guys are driving me crazy, but she still laughed.
Right.
Sometimes you can be saying something serious, but still
That's right.
be laughing in the background. So some things that people say.
Like a deceitful
Yeah.
yeah.
So sometimes we gotta listen to what people say and take it at face value.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's a fact. That's the fact. That's why I said and it gets crazier. So now we're gonna play another video, and as we go, the last video breaks it really down. And it's sad. And again, this is for adult content purposes only. It will, as it goes on, we'll get a little bit more in detail of how the kids end up losing their lives, because that's the big question. Like, if you are a parent, you're a mother, and you're saying these things, what could be going through your mind, and what kind of act of that you act out that will go through your mind? If you see, my thing is, it's crazy. If you tell somebody you love them, the actions got to at least speak with the words. Right. You can't tell me you love me, and then you do the most heinous thing that you can think of. You wouldn't do it to nobody else. The person at your job that hurt you the most. These are people that the kids don't know no better. They love you unconditionally. Right, wrong, and different. Right. You can be on drugs. And hey, man, even though your mama drug, man, I deal with her. My mama, I love her. My daddy, yeah, he act up, he do some wild stuff. It's my daddy. But to go beyond that, when you wouldn't even do that to the average person, that's the only thing where mental health blows my mind about people doing that.
Yeah, it's mental health, but then again, on my point of view, you're still dealing with spirits. A lot of times people are playing with spirits, and they think that they can cut a spirit on and cut a spirit off when they get ready. You don't. That's why every time you go, and I tell them a lot of times, every time you go into a liquor store, every liquor store says beverages and spirits. So whatever you drink, that's why certain liquors make you act a certain kind of way, because that spirit that's on the inside of you. So we're dealing with spiritual warfare. That's right. And so we're looking at mental things, and that's true, but it's going on deeper. You know, the Bible says in these last days, it's horrible. We haven't seen anything yet. And I don't want to harp on this, but I remember when people were killing themselves. Now, if somebody tell you I didn't kill myself, I'm telling you, don't believe me. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. No. Yeah. But everybody in this area was killing themselves. This has been years ago. And I was in my room. Nothing wrong with me. I took my gun, You know, I just don't see how somebody can take a gun and put it in their mouth and just blow their brains out. And I took the gun and put it in my mouth just to see. And immediately the spirit started taking over and do it.
Wow.
I start getting depressed and crying for no reason.
No reason.
Man, you can't play with this stuff, bro.
You can't play with that stuff.
We can't play with this. This is a warfare. And right here shows, man, what we think we're winning, we still got
We got a long way to go. Yeah, man, that's so true, man. And sacrifice said facts. Yeah, man. Yeah, left eye said that there is an evil spirit, man. Definitely an evil spirit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into the next one. What's up with you, man? Bushwick Bay. So let's get into the next one.
We took a look into the court documents, and there were 2 reckless endangerment charges from back in 2018. Earlier today, the police commissioner said that little girl was 6 years old, the little boy 8. They were found dead yesterday in Southwest Baltimore.
I'll be honest, I didn't sleep much last night.
Baltimore City police have arrested a mother after her children were found dead Tuesday.
We can confirm now that the mother, 28-year-old Jamara Hall, is the suspect in this case, having confessed to murdering her children.
Police said someone called them to Coventry Manor Apartments in Southwest Baltimore Tuesday afternoon because something smelled bad. When officers got there, they found 6-year-old Deneria Thomas and her 8-year-old brother, Devin Thomas, and their bodies were decomposing.
I'm just shocked. Nothing happens in this neighborhood. This is quiet. Nothing happens at all.
Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said detectives were able to track down the mother and arrest her Wednesday morning.
Our detectives worked really, really hard to locate her, and once she was located, she was brought in for questioning.
In a separate incident back in 2018, police reported that the children were reported missing, but they were later found with their mother at a local hospital. The commissioner said investigators will be looking into the mother's background to see if she had any previous contacts with social services.
We will close any gap that enables tragedies like this to occur. And while we don't know the details of the case, we know that 2 children are gone.
The police commissioner said there were reports that the children were seen as recent as last week.
It's a shock to me. It's a shock to me because, as I said, the last time I saw them, they was happy little kids.
See, and that's the confusing part. This is where, again, okay, this is where I'm having a conflict, right? People can say that when you're minding your own business. Yeah. It's easy to say that when you mind. There's no way that they got to this point. And everybody said that she, again, I'm not judging her character or who she, but paperwork tell the truth. You try to unalive them before and went to jail for it.
Right.
So what, again, that's why I said, the love thing versus, that's why I put a mother's love, like, that's conflicting to any child.
Yeah. That's the epitome that she loved them to death.
Love them to death.
You know. So, but what you were saying, I was thinking the very same thing. In our culture, growing up, and everybody on this live, most of us have heard the saying, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Right.
If your brother was crazy,
yeah, you don't tell nobody.
You better not tell nobody.
We got crazy. Everybody know it's crazy, but you did the sad part. You better not say it.
You better not say it.
We know he's crazy. He taking medication and everything.
But he what today they call him what? High function. Yeah, but if they don't get what they need, that may be a devil.
That's a fact.
They'll tear up the crib. They'll tear up the house. And everything going. We argue or we fighting. We done threw bricks, through the wall.
Yeah.
But you better not tell nobody what go on in this house.
That's right.
And that's just how it is.
And then, like I was telling Mike, even Mike with the nosy neighbors, you don't have that no more. Remember, neighbors used to pull up in the house. Neighbors be like, "Hey, we seen such and such in your driveway. We didn't know. Was everything okay?" And the first thing you thinking like, And most people back in the day, like, man, they knows it. But man, salute Bell, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. That's the community. It takes a child to raise. I mean, it takes a community to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village to raise a child. So we took out that factor of the neighbors watching out. But remember back in the days, you better not get in trouble down the street. You might get whooping from down the street and you're going to get a whooping at home because you done got in trouble.
Right.
And it's like that. So I kind of hate the fact that people, and again, not to paint this woman as a bad person because I don't know her, but she did a heinous crime that's bad. It's really, again, unthinkable.
Right.
Because again, them kids didn't know that their mama was built like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The mama didn't know she was built like that. But when she gets all of these things going on, she got what 2 charges, I think I heard it now.
Yeah.
2 or 3 different charges.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Who's gonna stand up and say, wait, hold up. Now, these are not just running the stop sign.
Right.
This is actually you doing something that's local. You're doing something that's crazy.
Yeah, you're doing, and again, it makes you think. And again, a lot of people snap. I'm not saying that, and we can't say allegedly it was premeditated, but man, when I really play the next video, the details of what she did, like, ain't no kid that bad. You tell your kid, boy, you better sit down and tear your butt up. It doesn't, no one takes it past that to then turn around and then not only hurt one, but like hurt both of them.
See, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't have them on a podcast,
but this is
a week spiritual.
Cross, I'm telling you, this is totally spiritual. Because when we get to this thing, we just call it blanket.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know any better. And then we came back to ourselves. Well, what were you when you had to come back to yourself? It's like, and we say nothing, like it's like something took over my body.
Well, like you say, spiritual warfare.
It's spiritual warfare, bro. And if you don't realize spiritual warfare, you'll think that you can handle it on your own.
Right.
You really think that you can handle it?
You think the problem is a lot of, in our culture, we don't want to admit that a lot of people, because a lot of people don't realize in the cultures, especially in the city or low income or whatever the case you want to call it, experience PTSD to a certain degree, to a certain level.
Yeah.
Because some of the things that you go through, an average kid won't. We used to go over to the friends' house. We thought it was weird that, man, their parents getting along, everybody having fun, they loving each other. Man, that ain't what it is. Man, my uncle over there down the crib, he drunk, and he coming over the house, they playing cards all night, people yelling, and police showing up. That was considered normal. Gunshot, that's considered normal.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to somebody's house, you realize you're the dysfunction.
Right, right.
That's not normal. See, mom and dad, you see the mom and dad in there joking with each other, not cussing each other out every time they get drunk. Now,
right.
You know what I'm saying? After the bottle of Seagram's gone and you ain't picked up another bottle or a 6-pack of Bud Ice or something. Yeah, now Joe want to get mad. He want to be mad at that. You know what I'm saying?
We're looking at them that's getting along like the Brady Bunch. We used to call them the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. It's crazy. It's a crazy. It's a little sad thing, man. This is a sad thing. We have got to, again, you said this about it takes a village to raise, a child. But now the question is, who's raising the village?
That's a good question. And we don't have anybody raising no villages of no soldiers, no men, and all that. But we have people that, well, I put it like this. We have people in place. We don't have people that want to be accountable for being in that place of doing it.
Yeah. How we hold the village accountable is just what you just said. We got to have the nosy neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have the nosy neighbors.
Yeah.
We got to have that one that's curious. Because this is my question. I want to say, we so quick to march downtown.
Yep.
At City Hall. Who's marching in the community?
And who's marching in your house?
You know what I'm saying? In your house. Yeah.
Who marching in your house? Who setting the standards? The old song is you got to clean up what you messed up. You got to clean your house. You can't talk. You can't tell me my house dirty. when you got stuff all you hoarding in your house.
That's right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, man, they quick to do that, you know, point the finger at them so I don't get the blame for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in, now we're going to break down what they talked about that was actually in the docket a little bit. So let's go into that.
Heard 6-year-old Danira screaming from inside her home in southwest Baltimore August 19th, according to these court documents. The little girl and her brother Davin found dead inside the apartment 5 days later. 2 children now gone, according to police, at the hands of their mother, Jamira Hall. Her charging documents detailing the shocking and disturbing details surrounding their murders. A case that began this past Tuesday when a maintenance worker discovered the children dead inside of their apartment in southwest Baltimore after being asked to investigate a foul smell coming from the unit. These court documents detailing Davin was found lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room, a knife at that scene, and his sister in the bathtub with a clothing object wrapped around her neck, both in a state of decomposition and no sign of their mother. The documents detail Jamira Hall was last seen with her 2 children on August 19th outside the residence. That same night, a neighbor told police they heard Danira screaming, "Mommy, no." Hall arrested the next day. According to the documents, a witness telling police she had gotten into an Uber and was heading for Baltimore County. There, she was taken into custody and later gave a full admission into detail as to how she murdered both of her children.
So first of all, I want to stop before we go any further and say, you know, RIP to those angels, man. They didn't deserve that. Like I said again, for a person to go from being on a podcast to then just bluntly, yeah, I did it, and then tell you how they did it. Like, what made you that? Like I said again, I'm trying to figure out. That's a mother's love. You fought for the kids to keep the kids, but you really didn't want the kids. Now you got to the point they ain't good enough for you to have, and nobody else can have. That's the thing I struggle with. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them, go like the old school day. Go give them to your auntie or your mama. Yeah, go give them to your homegirl. Then you know her house a little bit cleaner than yours, and she take care of her kids. Her kids get fed all the time. Yeah, and it don't look like it's bad.
But when we look at it, this wasn't the case because everybody else is saying, man, they were like, you see one, you see, you know, all three.
Right. You see one, you see all of them. That's why I can't understand it. Let's check it out.
Now, these documents also mention the father of these children, his family telling us they tried to keep the children after Hall served a year in prison for arson. More on that at 5.
That some of the details you're about to hear are disturbing. Keith Daniels joins us more right now with what neighbors are saying. Keith?
Well, Kai, the details are in these charging documents. We're told how the children were found and about neighbors who heard screams. And tonight, one of those neighbors is telling his chilling story. It shook Ray Cherry from his sleep.
I heard the kids around 11:30.
He says screams of children and tussling that night seeped through his floor from the apartment below.
Whoever was down there was picking these kids up and they was crying. And one kid said, "Mommy, no, mommy, no, mommy." And I heard a little boy through the floor was kind of crying. And right after that, I didn't hear anything else.
Cherry said that happened last Thursday night, August 19th. 5 days later, according to these court documents, police found Danira and Davin Thomas, 6 and 8 years old, dead inside their apartment. Their mother, Jamira Hall, police say, confessing to the murders. The court documents with graphic details, including Davin found lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room, stabbed with a large knife, and his sister in the bathtub with the clothing object wrapped around her neck, both in a state of decomposition. And
man, I gotta stop there, man. That's what I'm saying. This is, okay, you telling me you got one in a sleeping bag on the floor, decomposing, the knife still in the child. And then you got the baby girl in the tub, face down, in water, decomposing. With something wrapped around her neck, you know, like, this is what I'm saying. This is why I put the title on mother. Like, my mama wouldn't do that. No mother, no real woman. That's why I'm confused. Like, did you hate the daddy that bad? Like, who did you take all this out on? I don't care. Like, even if the daddy wasn't there, not like, there's some other people around because you either played it well or that was the first time you ever snapped. See, that's what I'm saying, but it couldn't have been because you put pictures in the pan. Nobody went and got the girl the mental health that she needed back then. And like you said, it goes back to us in the family, what stays in the house. Because you can't tell me nobody didn't know that girl was off. That woman was off. Right. You can't get me to believe that. Right. Doing that right there, you went and you did something heinous in one room, and then the little girl is screaming, "Mommy, no, mommy, stop."
Yeah, I got a problem even with my man and you know his interview, because you say you heard her saying, you know, "No, mommy, no." Yeah. Mommy. Then you hear crying.
Then you hear silence.
You know, you hear crying, and if he's crying on that floor, how long did you hear him crying? It's just normal. You know what I'm saying? It's just normal. Even if she snapped, if this is not normal, you know, you somebody should have knocked on the door, man, or called the police. We should call 911. Bro, no, man. We're not a community no more.
That's what I'm saying, dog. We are really lacking as a community, bro. Like I said, I don't care what nobody's saying. Because you mind your own business. You mind your own business, don't do nothing for nobody.
Until you, and this is what gets me, man. And, you know, I just get angry and emotional because we want to be so tough. And we want to be like, we there for each other, bro. Right. And all this kind of stuff, man. Come on. Even if you saw me going off, man, do something to help me. Call please. Because I probably need that.
You need it. You need it.
You probably say me and my children. What if you would have got up there in time enough when you was hearing "No, mommy, no"? That that child was still alive.
Right. The second part, that child at that point is not understanding what their mama is doing to them or what they're trying to do. That's why the little girl was like, "Mommy, come on, no, mommy," because that was a fear. Like, she's probably seen her mama snap, but she probably never seen that look in her eye when she saw what she saw.
Yeah, but then he said he heard thumps. Yeah, and then a small cry.
Yeah,
and then "No, mommy, no." Come on. This stuff is unfolding right before your eyes. You're listening to it. That's not no horror movie. You're listening to children. You're watching Children of the Corn.
Right.
This is upstairs in your house. Forgive me, man, but he need to be asking for forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah, he need a foot all. You can't say it, Bishop. He need a foot all up in his, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wasn't in here. You know me. I'd have went on here if you said you got that beat, but I'm waiting on you to start using it. But yeah, I need you to start using it because I keep on watching these videos and it bothers me.
Yeah, man. I can't get the beat on you.
Yeah, you want to use that beat. You got to use the beat button. Yeah. I might go there one day. I'm before.
You're premeditating.
Yeah, I'm gonna premeditate.
No sign of their mother. According to investigator, Jamira Hall was last seen with her two children on August 19th outside the residence. The same night, Cherry says he was awakened by children screaming. The next day, police arrested Hall after she took an Uber to Baltimore County. Later, police say she gave a full admission in detail as to how she murdered both of her children. Cherry would later discover that what he unknowingly heard may have been the moments leading up to the deaths of Danera and Davin.
I'm weeping. I'm weeping because the kid, she didn't have to kill them kids. She didn't have to do it.
Man, that's sad, man. And you just said it. I think that to me, his response, gonna have to live with that forever. That's a cut. I don't care what nobody says, because again, we always we ignore everybody. You know what I'm saying? We ignore,
right.
You see the neighbor next door, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. Where them kids at? And y'all stay up in the house, man. Police outside, y'all ain't got nothing to do with it. Instead of being more a part of your community. It's not, a lot of times we make it look like we live in apartment complexes in our community.
Exactly.
Everybody living here, we just go and come, but it's a community of people. It's a neighborhood.
Yeah. And it's crazy, man. He should, and yeah, I know he's crying because we can feel what happened.
Right.
But there's no way you can tell me it's running deeper with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that he could have, and I'm not putting any blame on him.
Yeah.
But we got to go back to the point where, man, it's just too much going on.
Yeah.
It's too much going on. Remember, like that Fred example, a man was breaking in next door. He said, "What you doing over there?"
Yeah,
man. You don't know, and you don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You need to know. And he said, "Hey, but one," he said, "Come on." And then he put his gun out. And he's like,
But Fred, he said, "Now the next time you're gonna hear, it's gonna be the rat-a-tat-tat of this baseball."
Yeah.
And then what the gun. But I'm saying that not to make light of this situation, but we got to go. What are you doing over there? I live in my house 23 years.
Right.
I mean, we don't. My neighbors and I don't have long conversations. We speak and we whatever. But somebody broke into my car and they were going into another car. He saw them, and that's what are you doing over there? He said, "We're just getting something out of the car." He knew that there was not anybody in my family, and he knew that we don't be outside.
Exactly.
But we'll hear something outside of our window and roll over.
Right.
And go back to sleep, man. Are you my neighbor? Or you just live next to me?
Yeah, because man, and I, like you said, he got to live with that. Just imagine the cry that he heard. And that's why I said it's heartaching. Yeah, and then for people that want to know about the father, I think what they said was in a video that the father was devastated by it. But here's the thing, and I want to talk about that. I didn't bring it. The other video was the father didn't show up when the mother got out that year. He didn't show up to the court appearance to get the kids. So then the courts decided to give the kids to the mother.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about that? Should the daddy should have known, or do a lot of times the daddy know, or do the dads get pushed away? Because again, I don't think, like I said again, I don't know if the daddy might not have wanted kids, but I don't think the daddies would have put the kid knowing that the mama would do it. I mean, I guess everybody would know what a person would do, but he was with her, and he ain't with her. And that's usually why he ain't with her.
Well, you know as well as I do that the men get the short end of the stick.
Right.
Now, it's good and bad. I'm not saying that all men are good. I'm not going to tell you I'm all good.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We all have made mistakes, but there still has to be a level playing field.
Correct.
What you hold against a man, you should also hold it against the woman.
Right.
And when you go and get into the system, bro, when you get into the system and you got to go through all kinds of hoops. We got to go through all kinds of loops and stuff. And I'm sitting here telling you, listen, I've been with this woman for the last 10 years.
Right.
There's something wrong mentally, but we haven't seen it. She done been to jail a year.
Yeah.
She done set a pitcher on fire in the skillet and took the smoke detector down.
And left the kids in the house.
Well, that's still not enough evidence for me to pull the kids from her and give them to you.
Well, and another thing to add to it too is that they were questioning child services. And how was child services able to knowing that woman's background? But they were using the excuse, well, the father should have came to the court date.
Now, it is so funny that we said that because I was just counseling a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Counseling a young man that he's on. Yeah, he missed his court date.
Yeah.
But he missed the court date, but they found out they didn't mail the court date to him. But he was still found guilty.
Wow.
Because he didn't show up. How can you show up to something that you didn't know? The system is designed for the woman now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been through it. Listen, I'll tell my testimony. I've been through it. I'm telling you, the system is designed, to protect the woman and the child. They want the children with that woman.
Right.
She got to be deemed just unfit. But then now the question is, what do you deem unfit? Is this unfit now?
Right.
It doesn't say anything about my man's background, but it does say she been arrested.
Yeah.
It does say, arson, the fire, reckless endangerment. These are signs, man.
Yeah.
She didn't snap. Snap is if I just start on poster right now, I snap. But when I got a pattern of going through it,
I'm just off.
Come on.
Yeah, she needs to snap. That's why I said it's almost sad where I felt like she put herself in that position. It's sad, man. Again, I wanted to bring this to everybody and let them see it. This was out of Baltimore. Very sad situation. Of course, the woman is in prison because she tried to get a bond and they revoked her bond. So, again, we got to learn to be more of a community-oriented type culture. We claim we bleed this black thing, we bleed this culture, but we're so distant from it. Being nosy is not just being nosy when you're protecting other people that you care about and you want to see these kids, these babies grow up to be the next leaders, and we don't protect them. It's not their fault. They're only out there. They only go when you only do what your options allow you to do.
Right.
So for everybody, I just want to bring this awareness to everybody about it. What you got to say about this whole situation before we get off here?
I really want to say to us, we have to know the difference between being nosy and being concerned. If my neighbors across the street a couple of years ago was not concerned, my mother-in-law would not be alive.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? And you there's some people that you can't trust.
Right.
There's some people that you can't trust. I got brothers now, they know every code to my house. They're not my brothers. They know every code to my house. Right. They know everything. If something go on now, I travel a lot. I have a gentleman that stays in my driveway. Just right after the day. I trust. I'm not going to worry. I don't want nobody over my wife, over my house. He may start trying to mess with my wife.
That's right.
Man, come on.
That's right. It's a fact. And that's the thing about it. We got to get back to trusting ourselves, because if you don't trust yourself, you ain't trust nobody.
Right.
We got to get out of this. If you don't want the child, give it to the granny. They might not want it, but at least they can, like you said, somebody can help and get them the people that they need help. Because people doing this, people need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate everybody coming on here rocking with your boy. And everybody to show love. We're going to continue to keep on rocking. I appreciate everybody. Y'all go follow my man King, New Jersey. Man, the sacrifice. White Boy Lockdown Radio, my man Mac, man. Man, just, hey, man, keep on rocking, man. We're going to keep on rocking, too. So on that note, I want to say salute to Carrie for coming on here, as usual, showing love, and salute to everybody. That like button, right? That like button. comment, subscribe, keep me in the algorithm, and I appreciate y'all. And
can I tell you this?
Yes, sir.
Can I say to this audience, man, please, man, we have to pray for one another.
Yes, sir.
It is not going to get any better.
No, sir.
It's not going to get any better. I don't want to just leave it on a, this is just it's a hour, man.
It's a reminder.
Because what happened, we can look at her and say, man, wow, ain't no way in the world I could never do this to my child. You know what? That was the day when she said, in the world, I would do this to my child. We got to keep each other in prayer. And we got to understand, whoever you pray to.
That's right.
To be God, whoever you pray, that's between you and your relationship. But whatever relationship you got with some God, whatever, we need to pray, man.
That's right.
And this lets us know, and I'm going to stop talking, but this lets us know that we got to stop just praying for the people in our house.
That's right. You got to pray for everyone.
We got to pray for our neighbors.
Corporate prayer. We got to do more corporate prayer.
Yeah. I think it's time for us to march in our own neighborhood.
And we need it. We need it, bro.
Yeah.
We need it. So salute to everybody. I got to get out of here. Got to get to running. Get me something to eat. We shall be back on tomorrow. Y'all check your notifications. Hit the notification bell. Tap that button. Tap that button. Tap that button.
It's the Plug Podcast, hey. Yo, you already know. Once that shit drop. Yeah. Man, we've been doing this for quite some time, and we're gonna keep on keeping on, Oh, get with it or stay away from it. But either way, we going to the top. Can't even afford coming over. I pay the price since it's